Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we started the Crimson Void Crusade, and this time we will continue on with that. I didn't put in my skill point. I thought I did and I didn't. I am glad I checked. No, we have to go through it all. I was about to say, maybe I should start doing the durations, but no. We're already going this way, we're just gonna get these done. And then we have to go through these anyway, so they're gonna happen. That is actually stupidly good, because I can apply slow real easy. And being able to get an extra second and 10% damage bonus on top of the 5% damage bonus for each debuff, on top of the 2% less damage from enemies for each unique vulnerability applied. That one's stupidly good too, because what we can do, I'm probably not going to do it because it's a little dumb. Oh, we actually have these too. We'll try to get to 10 so we get that HP regen, and then just dump everything into warfare. So, there is a perk. Somewhere. I know you exist. There. Hits increase the enemy's resistance against that damage type by 5%, so I lose 5% damage on everything. But adds vulnerability to all other types of damage, stacks up to 10 times. You see what I'm thinking here? So, hit them with heat damage, they gain physical and warp. Actually, can we see, like, what other damage types there are? I think it's just those. And poison, I guess. So we would put 4 vulnerabilities, and those 4 vulnerabilities would then mesh with that, so they would deal 8% less damage, and then for each debuff effect, up to 10 times each, so I could put 40 debuffs. I may be calculating this wrong, because otherwise, if I'm calculating it right, that is stupid. Like, that is a good move. I will trade the 5% damage loss to apparently just wall up someone with 1 billion damage. Back into the Void Crusade, we gotta hit this, and then we're gonna go to this. And we can still get away with putting up more challenges, which is good, because I'll take the XP bonuses where I can find them. Heat resist, 71%. This is... yeah, well... Nah, I have to use the plasma gun, because it's Khorne, and it's Void Rippers, and as we saw... like, they're all armored, and the bolter does, like, 20 or 30% less damage to armored guys. God, this is a kick in the nuts, because no matter how I spin this, I'm either dealing 70% reduced damage, which... okay, I'm still beating ass, I can't really complain. But that still sucks. Because that's good damage. Or I lose that damage. But I might make it up with the bolter. I can't guarantee. I wish I had the physical attack stuff. Okay, so you take 4 hits. So let's try with the bolt gun. Somebody give me a guy to pop shots at. That didn't really work because I hit this dude and he went thermonuclear. I mean, it looks like it's working. I love that I'm just mag dumping this thing.
Reloading.
But I got a question for you guys. I know lately I've been asking a lot of questions of you, but I've been in an inquisitive mood. Do you think that... I'm trying to think how... Once again, gotta think of how to word these things. Because I like to word them in a way that isn't a leading question. But it probably is anyways, because... Yeah, I mean, it probably is. Do you think exclusives have lost the value over the years? Like, when you see an exclusive for a console, do you think like, oh man, you know this has got to be good, you know, this is only for this system, this is an exclusive? Or do you just kind of view it as like, it's just another thing? Because this is a discussion I saw crop up recently, and I think it's a good question to ask. Because in the past, 10 years or so, personally, I think we have seen exclusives get worse. Stuff like Order 1886, Crossfire X, the Halo games. God, the Halo games. What else was there? There was a couple other games. Destruction All-Stars, that was one. Tells you how impactful the game was. I forgot it existed. I had it written down because I knew I was going to forget and be like, oh yeah, that one game. But these games lose their value, I think. Because who here has played Destruction All-Stars? Raise your hand. I haven't. I watched gameplay and I was like, oh, this blows. It's kind of like how I feel this Foam Stars game is gonna be. They made Splatoon, but for adults, and it's Sony exclusive. I'm disappointed. But I was sitting there thinking about this because I was also watching gameplay of Crossfire X. So I sat there thinking, this game would have been fine had they not done most of the crap they did. Like, I'll always remember the Boogeyman. Essentially, they had point streaks you could call in at any time and buy whatever you wanted. Tell me if this is fair. You have a fast-moving character with 600 HP, so 6 times the player's health. It regens. They have dual-wielding MP5s, which they have pretty much no bloom when you fire them. And you have 4,800 rounds. Like 60 total at any time, because I think 30 round mags. Might be 40 round, I want to say 30 though. But the big thing is 4,800 rounds in reserve. I saw that and I was like, that is the most broken thing I've ever seen. That is like a juggernaut in COD who can heal. Because hell, if you could have regenning juggernauts, one, getting jug would actually be worthwhile. Unlike how it's been for the past God knows how long, where it's just really crap and everybody just sticks you with a... not a Semtex, a thermite, and goes about their day. But it was just... it was disappointing, and so one of the things I saw people say was, exclusives used to be like the thing that enticed you to get that system. You know, they paid extra to be like, hey, this is part of our thing. You want to join our cool club, you can play this cool game. But more and more, it's games that are just... they're just kind of filler. And I think a big part of it is the shrinking third-party market. We don't have as many third-party studios making games, and because game development takes longer than it used to, in most cases, some games, when you look at like Call of Duty, are still on that 2 to 3 year cycle. Which is pretty goofy to think about. Like, they've been on that cycle for over a decade. But so we have this gap, and this gap is... I think that's where they're sitting here having to buy more exclusives, because like, oh god, we don't have anything to kind of fill our storefront for the time being. I swear that's why Sony started allowing all these indies, because some of those games are shovelware. You can't tell me otherwise. I have seen literal shovelware. Games that are worse than PS1 games that are like, it's $2. Some of them are like 10. They're like, want to buy our game? I'm like, this isn't even a game. You control a tiger that literally has like 6 different movement animations, and you run on a flat plane for 10 minutes. That is an early alpha. That is a prototype build, my guy. Ooh, grenade launcher. Yeah, that wasn't going to be any better. Let's see. Damage bonus for every debuff on the target. Okay, that's neither here nor there. What's the damage type? Physical explosive, okay. Cause bleeding, okay. Shock on critical hit. Damage bonus against bleeding enemies, so the more grenades I launch... Yeah, sure, why not? It'll be fun. I was about to say, we'll do it for the lulz, but then I remember that movie Smiley, where that was like the way to summon Smiley, and it was made by YouTubers, and that just made me really sad. I was like, oh yeah, that's not good. Alright, what do we got? Slabotage. Can do. No heat resist means everybody's gonna get turned into ash. But speaking of exclusives and all that, I saw not too long ago, as of recording, it was only a couple days, as of this video's release, it'll be last week-ish, David Vonderhaar left Activision. He left Treyarch, which, if the name doesn't stick, he has been like one of the head guys for Treyarch for a long time, or at least he's been in positions. He's worked on Treyarch games since like Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1. Worked on that, I think COD 3, World at War, Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, and Cold War. And then did some stuff for like, what was it? Warzone, I want to say? But yeah, it's interesting seeing that he left, because he even said he's got a new job somewhere, he hasn't said where. So at least there wasn't a non-compete clause, which I'm always happy for. Non-competes are stupid, and unless you're going to pay the person their wage for as long as their non-compete goes, I think it's incredibly predatory. But some people...
Electrospectral scanning revealed
I wonder what this machine does. Defense mechanism.
Gotta find... Oh, there's the computer. Well, that's easy. But people were talking about... What was it? They were talking about Vandahar leaving, and some were saying... Because there's some studio... Can I remember the name? No. My brain is a sieve. But there was a studio that had some ex-COD devs doing some undisclosed game, some exclusive for Sony. And there were people like, oh, is Vandahar gonna go there? And there was a little part of me, teeny tiny part, stupid part of me, that instantly went, could they be doing MAG? Because no matter what, until Sony flat out says, no, we are never doing it again, there's a tiny part of me that holds out hope. Especially because they need an FPS now that they've lost Call of Duty. Even though, yes, they will have it for however long, it's gonna go away from Sony eventually. The exclusives and offerings will eventually pull people over. That's how it always goes. But so they need something. And I'm really, really hoping we could get that. Because I saw people freaking out. They were showing some footage of The Last of Us Part 2, some shooting gameplay, and it's all slow-mo and people trying to make it look cooler than it really is. And these people are like, yeah, this is gonna be so cool, I can't wait for factions. Oh, Naughty Dog, let them cook, they're gonna make something amazing. I'm like, The Last of Us isn't that good. Like, the multiplayer for 1 wasn't bad, but the weapon variety sucked. And it was really annoying to, like, scoop up stuff and be like, hang on, I gotta make this quick explosive and pull it on my butt mid-fight. It's like, this feels really kind of clunky and annoying to try to deal with mid-fight. And I'm not... There are few third-person shooters I actually tolerate. At least online. Love Gears of War, but the multiplayer sucks. Because it's dudes just rolling over cover with the sawed-off blasting you in the chest. But so... I saw all these people freaking out, and I'm like, you guys would probably just shit yourselves if you ever saw, like, SOCOM gameplay. Or old Ghost Recon. You know, back when there were tactics and you had your squad and all that. That was... Man, I miss old Ghost Recon. Old Ghost Recon went hard. Especially now, I don't know why Ubisoft isn't trying to harken back to that, because you could do... This is a freebie. Any Ubisoft guy out in the audience, I know I'm your favorite creator, I know it. Use a mixture of that old school style of your squad and, like, XCOM. Imagine getting recruits and taking them on missions and training them up, and having specialists who are snipers and gunners and all this stuff who get different traits. Prime example is, look at a crime boss Rockay City. People dunk on that game for a million reasons, justified, but the trait system, phenomenal. Oh, this character takes less damage, this character costs less upkeep because he's more willing to be a criminal. This guy has better accuracy with this, that, or the other thing. Traits like that make things fun, and it doesn't fall within the realm of the Nemesis system, so Warner Brothers can't get on your jock about it, which is really nice because they can stuff it. Trying to sue people for making similar but different systems is not cool. But so, you could have that. Every playthrough becomes a little different because it depends on the guys you get, and if you were to do like a Mech Warrior thing where you have mercenaries, deploy different zones, have different missions, there's a lot you could do. It's just whether or not you do it. Yeah, I just completely lost track what I was talking about before this, but I just remembered Vandahar. It's interesting. I hope he's working on an FPS game. It'd be cool to kind of see at least more competitors enter the FPS genre again. We need kind of a renaissance. Oh yeah, I was talking about Last of Us, because I was gonna say there was factions, and then there's talk of a Horizon Zero Dawn multiplayer game. And I've said before, somehow Horizon does not appeal to me, even though I love robots and dinosaurs. There's just some part of me that's just like, this game somehow is still mid.
I wonder what this machine does.
What I would like, and this is the only way I would actually accept the multiplayer game, is if it was some kind of like Monster Hunter style game. The fact there isn't a lot of Monster Hunter game or style games just floors me. That is the most basic design I can think of. Go into an area, fight big monster, leave. You can add any other enemies you want in the middle as minor enemies. Whether you want to free roam to gather supplies for hunts, or make it so you're more or less fine scavenging whatever you find mid-fight. The opportunities are endless. And the fact EA, God, bless their hearts, but being like, hey, let's make Monster Hunter, you know, the game straight out of Japan, but we're gonna make it look even more Japanese and have full-on just like the big taiko drum thing and all that stuff, and we're gonna have just, it's Monster Hunter Japan. It's like, really? That was your choice? Once again, infinite possibilities. You can do anything. You know what would be cool? Something like Evolve, but Monster Hunter. I know what you're thinking, like, really? Evolve, the multiplayer game that had like a couple $100 worth of microtransactions at launch? Yeah, that's not as shocking these days as it was back then. Nowadays, seeing a couple $100 worth of microtransactions out the gate is like standard practice. If the cash shop ain't open before the game leaves early access, something's not right. I hate that that's the reality, but yeah, so you could set it up any way you want and be like, oh, these monsters, you could, easy way. Random monster, like you hunt a certain monster. Let's say it's, I don't know, the main one that you fought that was like the base monster from how did I just forget the name? Am I really this dumb? Memory of a Goldfish, everybody. Outlast. No, that's not it. You know the game I'm talking about. My brain, I got it. My brain got eczema. But my point. No, Evolve. There we go. I would think of it eventually, but the basic monster from Evolve, you know, he could grab rocks and throw them. He could do big ground slam. You know, doing the Shane O'Mac coast to coast off the top rope, just right onto you, turn you into a meat pancake. That, throw rock, breathe fire. But then every time you fight him, you know, maybe it's a regional variant where it's like, oh, maybe he breathes fire, or he might mutate and breathe poison. And it's like toxic sludge that'll stick to the ground. Or he might breathe like ice. So you go into these fights and you're like, okay, I have an idea of what I'm facing, but this guy could just absolutely pull a 180 on me and do something wild. I think that'd be cool. Part because you can kind of get away with less monsters, and it buys you time to make new ones. But also, it's just really cool. I love being surprised. I love unexpected things in games. I love going into a fight and being like, oh yeah, just like we had a few episodes ago in this, where I said, oh yeah, I can handle this fight. First thing that happens, Psyker just one-taps me. It's like, oh damn, I can't, I didn't handle this. I wasn't ready. Maybe not one-tapping me in games, that kind of sucks, but I love when things get mixed up. When things go against your expectations, and not in a modern-day movie kind of way, but in a, it's just gonna be weird. You could have a great time, you're absolutely specced out, balling out of control, or you and your buddies are running for your life going, man, nobody die, we're gonna be so screwed if anybody goes down. That's fun, that is exciting. But that's not what we get. Okay, a lot of that was not really worthwhile, but that is fine. Yeah, we got 30 HP regen, so now we can just dump into warfare. Oh man, we got a lot of skill points here. Sweet. Anything in the inventory worth even looking at? No. Okay, that's fine. So, that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.